We're here today to talk about and celebrate the 30-year partnership that CIS Corporate Interior Systems and Knoll has had since 1991. And the two best people to speak to that extraordinary partnership are Lisa Johnson, the CEO and President of Corporate Interior Systems, and of course, the infamous Mike Benigno with Knoll. The two of them have had the opportunity to partner from the very onset of that partnership here in Phoenix, Arizona. And to celebrate it, we wanted to ask some questions and get a conversation started between the two of them about what the last 30 years has meant.
We showed up 6 years into your business track. So you started it 6 years prior, right out of college, I understand.
Yes.
But I'm going to go back even further because your DNA is entrepreneurship. And I understand both your parents were entrepreneurs. Tell us how that fed into Lisa Johnson, the entrepreneur.
They were the basis of why I am an entrepreneur today. You know, my dad was born in 1920, my mom in 1923. So that kind of sets up the generation they were from. The greatest generation, according to Tom Brokaw. And so, and according, I agree. But Dad had his own business. Mom and Dad were married in 1941, right as the war started, and right before Dad went off to World War II. And then when they came back, they were part of that generation that said, okay, we want to get to work now. And a lot of people, I think, started their own companies. I mean, it was a great time in America for great new beginnings. And I think they really came back from that war with, all right, we really want to do something. So Dad started his own business, and then they started to have their family. They had 4 children, and early in the 1950s, they had their first child. And right after Mom had my older sister, Mom turned to Dad and said, you know, I really want to start my own company. Mom was very smart. She was out of college by the time she was 18. She also went to business school. So because she had skipped so many grades growing up, that she graduated college at 18. So that tells you kind of a little bit about my mom. And amazing woman. Anyway, in fact, it always chokes me up when I talk about her, still to this day, because she made such an impact on me. But so she started her first business, and then she went on to have 3 other children. I was only probably 10 when she started a second company on top of what she already owned and had started. And then she started a third one also. And they were all in the fashion industry. So it was all, centered around design also, because I think fashion is beautiful design. And that's probably where I got what I wanted to do as far as be in design or some aspect of it one day. And then, of course, my dad was in the construction industry. So yeah, they were very, very different. And Dad was very supportive at a time when women didn't go out there and work like that. They didn't. They stayed home and they took care of the kids, which that is great. But especially during that time, a woman to start 3 companies on her own with 4 children that have been born, it makes me tired thinking about it. She was amazing. That's all I can say.
One more question about your mom and your parents. What did they say to you when you started your business?
Absolutely.
What advice did they give you?
They said, they always told all of us kids, first of all, the first thing you better get is an education. Because if you ever fall down on anything that you try, you can always get back up as long as you have that education. Secondly, never be afraid to try anything. Go for it. You can have the world by the tail if you want it. And so it was always like, don't worry about failure. Yes, you'll have failures. I watched my mom struggle through some times in her business where she didn't know if she was going to be able to get through some of those hard times. And she did. And I saw how hard that they had to work. The other thing I learned, and they always said, nothing will ever come easy. So if you don't put in a tremendous amount of work, then don't plan on being successful. And then the last thing that always stuck with me was never go for something because you think you're going to make money. Only go for something where you can make a difference and that you love to do. Everything else will come after that.
Oh, it's so powerful.
Mhm.
I love that, Lisa.